Welcome back to our second episode of Port Charles Chat. Let's say I'm Mom, and I have Brandon with us here today. And we're going to get right down to it and talk about some of the things that occurred last week during General Hospital. And we are referring to the week of July 8th through July 12th. Brandon, what were your thoughts in general about this week?
So for me, as a largely casual viewer who's just tuned in for the past several weeks, we've had amazing storylines throughout the last month and a half, and this week I could have skipped.
That is very true. All right, just to give some highlights, I'm going to go over just who I think the main characters were, who I thought were more prevalent this week. First of all, probably the most exciting storyline was the Fourth of July storyline, which is really scary that is the most exciting storyline of the week. And so during the Fourth of July storyline, what stood out the most, of course, was the relationship or the acknowledgement of a beginning of a relationship between Drew and Willow. Is something that I foresaw coming a while back because they were making googly eyes at each other, and then all of a sudden they decide they need to kiss each other during this Fourth of July event, even though family members were all around and Sasha did witness it. To me, it was just odd. Your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, speaking of family members, Drew is the uncle of Willow's husband, and Drew has recently sort of been with both Willow's mother and mother-in-law, so that's just weird.
Yeah, it's just weird altogether. Yeah. And of course, Will Drew is the twin brother of Jason, and so basically that is Michael's uncle per se. So the whole thing's just weird. So that was one of the storylines, but at least to me, the biggest storyline that kind of happened throughout the week. And then we had Heather and Laura. Laura, Laura did go and visit Heather at the prison, and Heather is saying consistently that she does not want to leave the prison. She's acknowledging she did the crimes. She says she doesn't understand some of it, but she is acknowledging that she did do the crimes, and she doesn't know what she'll do if she is let go. And so Laura has decided, in a conversation with Trina later, that she also told Kevin that she thinks that she is going to let it go. This is as of last Friday. Not only do we have those two storylines, we of course have Portia that came in also. Portia is very mad at Laura. She does not want this to go forward. She expresses this to everyone that she sees. Um, you know, I'm a little over it. I understand her point, but she is a little much right now. What about you, Brandon? Did you think it was a little much for you?
Yeah, definitely with Portia repeatedly trying to, not even trying to sway Mayor Laura Collins to make sure that Heifer stays in the Pennville prison. I mean, it's it's more so that she's sort of just repeating her same points over and over again, and rather just trying any discussion of it as opposed to having like a productive conversation even, and even Curtis, her husband is even at least being a little bit more reasonable. I mean, it's understandable about her concerns, but it's just a bit more over the top, and like we're not really making any further progress with this. We're just sort of stuck in the same spot.
Yes. And then the last storyline that kind of stands out, well, there are two more storylines that stand out for me. The next one is Ava, involves Ava, and of course, everyone around Ava. But in particular, it has to do with the doctor that she went to go see. Sonny is very mad at Ava at this point, and they are both kind of suing for custody of their child. And Ava went to go see the doctor, who is, of course, lowering the medication for Sonny. And Ava, who really does not, I don't know what kind of clout she has or thinks she does have, but she's able to go to the doctor and just say, please not have any medicine inside of it, and realizes that a placebo will be given in its place instead of the medicine that Sonny needs. Um, so that was another scene that was that was important. And of course, everyone was kind of building up to, will Sonny have some sort of outburst? And it's been alluded to several times, so we kind of know that this will eventually come. The last thing that kind of stood out to me was actually Jason and Elizabeth. I thought they had a very nice conversation, and they were talking about Jake. The only problem was we never saw, or at least I didn't see this bonding moment between Jake and Jason, and I think that is something I would have liked to see because Jake he hasn't exactly been the friendliest to Jason, and to say that they had a bonding moment, it would have been nice to actually see that. We've seen Jason bond with Danny, but we really haven't seen them bond with Jake. Brandon, were there any other storylines that stood out to you?
I mean, those are definitely the memorable ones. I mean, if you can call them that. Although we do also have the ones with Mac and Cody.
Oh yes, yes, yes. How can I forget about Mac and Cody? They were pivotal throughout the week. Unfortunately, the same conversation was had the whole week, but it was. I thought the conversation. I thought that I like that they have now acknowledged that Cody is Mac's son. I really like Mac, so, and we kind of know that eventually they will get along, but but I just kind of wish that would come a little sooner. I know that he is shocked right now, and he's thinking of reasons for why Cody lied to him, and but. I kind of would like that to kind of not be a long drawn out storyline. I'd like that to come back a little quicker. What about Brand? Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely we haven't made a lot of progress by it. I mean, out of this whole week's episodes, I would say that Mondays is probably the most sort of productive, so to
Mhm.
speak. But I mean, during the initial reveal, but I mean, it was amusing, I guess, to see the different attempts to try to get them to speak to each other, but which is nice and sort of fun and cute. But in the same regard, I hope that it progresses further a little bit because the standstill that we're at right now for this week, it just felt very long.
It did. It did. And so I had a hard time trying to find the best storyline of the week. The only one that I could think of was really Drew and Willow, only because it was just weird. And so that in itself, because it made me think it was weird, thought it may have been one of the better storylines of the week. Um, and then I kind of like the way they did the 4th of July in general because it really was just an episode about the 4th of July. Brandon, what were your thoughts? Did you have any thoughts about storyline of the week?
I don't necessarily have a storyline of the week per se. I mean, if anything, I liked a few just minor points here and there throughout the week. For instance, we had, of course, a moment where Jason, of course, is offering to pay for his son's college, which I thought was a nice, sweet moment. You have Trina trying to get her parents to have a sort of romantic dinner. I mean, I thought that was a nice touch, and then they're trying to let the new character Geo feel at home, so to speak. During their Fourth of July celebration. So, I mean, yeah, and I would even give honorable mention to the thing um, of like Maxie and her mom trying to get Cody and Mac together. I mean, I thought there were a lot of sweet moments throughout the week, but I didn't. To me, I didn't have a true single storyline throughout the week that I really enjoyed per se. Just those little sweet moments throughout.
Okay. I had a hard time, and actually, I did not pick a best actor of the week. I had a hard time with this, so I couldn't do it for this week. Did you have a best actor this week or actress this week?
I don't really, I don't really think so. I mean, no, I mean, if anything at all, I would just give an honorable mention, so to speak, to just the proud moment that Tracy was giving at the I believe Monday's episode after Drew's announcement, just because she felt really proud of her family. But other than that, there wasn't really a lot going on. Although out of the sweet moments I just mentioned, Trina wasn't a lot of them. So I mean, I definitely will give her credit there. But I mean, I couldn't really pick someone for this week.
All right. For lame storyline, I didn't have any problems finding something for this. Who stood out to me, of course, was Sasha as being involved with a lame storyline. Even though I said that Drew and Willow were kind of the storyline of the week for me, just Sasha witnessing it for me was the lame storyline. Let's see. We also had Anna and Valentine, which I thought were kind of boring. She went there to get a phone, and I don't know. And at this point in time, as of Friday evening, she did not have the phone. And then Portia and Laura, as I kind of mentioned previously, to me, they were just part of the lame storyline of the week because uh, it. I just thought they were.
Yeah,
All right.
I know for me, as I've mentioned before, I mean, even though it was that I'm a casual viewer, I've been watching pretty regularly for the past couple months, but just I don't know. This past week, I really could have just skipped the week and taken it off. I didn't. There wasn't really anything that really captivated my attention per se to, I mean, make me want to watch for this past week.
Yeah. And then to sum up, well, like I said, this week was just kind of I guess it was just maybe they're laying the groundwork for something to come up. And so I look forward to this week coming up because it's got to be much better than it was last week. And yes. And so Brandon, do you have any storylines that you're looking forward to?
So for me, I know I have seen the episode for Monday the 15th, and I'll say that this week is already seeming much better than last week. So I'm excited for you to see the episode and for our discussion this current week.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I look forward to watching because I will be watching a little later today. And so, for everyone else, we thank you for joining us today. Please leave in the comments if you agree, disagree, or if you have thought a storyline was better than what we thought for this week. Let us know. And we look forward to seeing you next week on Port Charles Chat.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye bye, everyone.